Hello everyone and welcome to the Self-Sewn Wardrobe podcast and live broadcast with me, Mallory Donahue. It is fabulous to have you all here. Today's one of those days when I have a sewing machine slash serger in the picture, and so that's always a good time. Today I'm going to discuss, as a follow-up to yesterday's broadcast, I'm going to discuss the anatomy of a serger stitch and also how to take out a serger stitch. So I have the Baby Lock and Lighten here in front of me, and I've cut off all my threads up top, and I'm going to sew out my chain. Good morning, Glenda. Good morning, Jacqueline. I'm excited. I don't have my machine threaded because I thought maybe I'd give you all a little preview. There is a past Self-Sewn Wardrobe live Facebook video that I did where I went into a lot of detail about how to thread the serger. So if you are looking for that, if you want to see like how the Baby Locks thread, and it was sort of a, what do I want to say? An explanation about why the Baby Locks are special, you know, so that's what that video was about. So I'm going to go a little faster this time. Good morning, Janet. Oh, Janet's one of our Canadian friends, and she says she just got a special shipment from us. I know it can sometimes take a long time to get there, so I'm glad it came, Janet. All right, so this is the Enlighten, and right now I'm just going to thread up with 3 threads, actually. I know I have 4 here, okay? So I'm just going to do a 3-thread serger stitch to talk to you guys about the anatomy of the serger stitch. And when we talk about different types of serger stitching, they're appropriate for different types of sewing, and I'm not going to go into that super in detail today, but that would be a really good topic for another day. So once again, with the Baby Locks, I don't have to worry about the order in which I thread. I can do a looper, I can do a needle, I can do whatever I want. Mary asks, is there a benefit to the different shape of the serger thread versus the other thread she's seen? Serger thread generally comes on cones, reason being, serger thread is less, is finer. It's finer than normal sewing thread, like that you use in your sewing machine, okay? The reason it is because you're often using 3 or 4 threads. It doesn't have to be as thick, and your stitch will lay nicer. It will decrease bulk. So this is the serger thread we sell, the Madeira Aerolock. We really love it. Good morning to Barbara. Barbara, I haven't noticed you in a live feed before. I would say good morning, so good morning. Eveline, welcome to the live broadcast too. Mary says her daughter is watching. Okay, so we're going to thread in any order. This is the Madeira Aerolock thread. We've got it individually as spools in the shop. We've also got thread blended packs. I'm using 3 different colors here to kind of show you the anatomy of the serger stitch. Okay, I'm going to thread this guy. What do we do, guys? How do we thread? I want to see all these comments coming up, okay? What is the first thing you do when you thread any machine? I'm not going to answer. I just did it, but I want to see all these comments. I want everyone to answer and tell me what you do. What the first thing you do is before you thread any machine. Okay? Need to hear it. All right, so I'm going to thread my needle. The Enlighten, Sandy's first. Press her foot up. Press her foot up, Amanda. Yes, that's right. Press her foot up. Good morning, Stephanie. Okay, so I got my needle threaded. Now I'm going to thread my loopers real quick. Once again, if you want to see the up close and personal action of this serger being threaded, I did a previous video on it. Oh, I'm so happy to see all these people saying press your foot up, because I think it is one of the, I think it might be like the #1 reason that people have trouble threading their machines. And if you look in your owner's manual, oh, and here I am talking about good sewing practices, and I forgot my little pair of scissors. If you look in your owner's manual, step 1 of the thread guide of the owner's manual, when it says, you know, how to thread your upper thread, it'll say raise, press your foot. That's what it'll say. So don't, it's not new information, but it's something that I think gets looked over a lot. But if you've got somebody who says, oh, I never sew because my machine is bad, it always tangles up thread in the bobbin, it's probably the upper thread. Okay, if you thread your serger with the presser foot down, like you're not supposed to, you will get a bad stitch. Your thread will not have gotten in the tension discs properly. Okay, once again, I'm not going to go too far into the mechanics of this particular serger. I'd love to do that. If somebody really wants me to like explore the baby lock sergers or something, or maybe we could make that into like a free class or something. I don't know. I won't go into the settings and everything that you need on the serger, but I will say it's very simple. You just need length, width, and this stitch selector here on the side of the machine. I believe this is all set up properly. Let me take a look. Oh, the cover on this machine will not close unless you disengage the threading system. So cool. That's good. All right, so I'm gonna put it back up. I'm gonna look at my stitch settings here. All right, everything looks fabulous, so I'm going to just run a piece of fabric through. And once again, sorry you can't see, but today I'm actually going to get up once again and stand in front of the camera all nice and close and personal. The only bad thing about doing this kind of broadcast is I feel like I can't have like my coffee really close to me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna push this serger to the front of the table here. Okay. Oh, I want you all to be able to see the thread colors. Let's see. Oh, that's good. Okay, and now I'm gonna come up in front of the table so you all can see the little sample that I have in my hand. And for people who are podcast listeners, I think I can do a pretty good job of explaining this audio-wise. Oh, Amanda says she'll take extra drinks of tea for me. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to open the machine here. And I know that it can be a little bit difficult to see, but your serger, or any serger, even if it's not a baby lock, I know that we harp on how awesome the baby locks are all the time. All sergers have two loopers. Here's your upper looper and your lower looper is right there, okay? So you got your lower looper and your upper looper, and we have the needle thread. That's what our serger stitch is like, and I want to talk to you about what's on the machine. I got an orange thread in my needle, okay? Pink thread in my upper looper, and green thread in my lower looper. So what does that look like on my piece of fabric? Okay, this is what the fabric looked like as I was bringing it through the serger. So what we see on top, okay, is we see the orange needle thread, right? And we see the pink upper looper thread. This is what my fabric looked like as I was running it through the serger. And my upper looper thread looks curvy. Do you all see how it's kind of winding around the needle thread, right? Okay, I'm going to flip my fabric over to the back, the side that wasn't facing me when I ran it through the serger. Oh my gosh, all green, okay, just about. We see a little bit of the orange needle thread, okay? So coming through, Jennifer just asked a question about Maxi Lock, and Jennifer, I will answer your question when I sit back down. That's a really good question. So on the back of your serger, sample here, we're only seeing the lower looper and little itty bitty bites of the needle thread coming through. So if you have a perfectly balanced serger stitch and you use a different thread in the upper and lower loopers, you will see only lower looper on the bottom and only upper looper on the top, and they're kind of winding around. You can change the the length of the stitch, etc. And zooming in on all this really makes me want to do a really detailed video just kind of about the mechanics of a serger. Okay, so Jennifer asked a question, and I'll come around here, about Maxi Lock, Serger Thread, and woolly nylon, etc., etc. Okay, Maxi Lock is a brand, and we have preferences for Serger Thread. So let me start there. For normal construction, okay, like your normal Serger Thread, we really like this Madeira Aerolock thread. I really like it. Okay, this is our favorite Serger Thread. It is super reasonable. Now we have Stretchy Thread by Maxi Lock. okay? So Maxi Lock makes this awesome stretchy thread. It's kind of like a woolly nylon, and we have been meaning to get it up on the site for the longest time, and we need to do that. We're also going to do some color blending packages on that as well. So I just want to say that we like that stretchy thread. Oh, I'm supposed to take out the serger stitch for you. I gotta get back up. So taking out your serger stitch, and actually I might do another little sample here too, because I will sacrifice my time and my mental health so that you all can see what it's like when you take out a serger stitch incorrectly. Okay, you'll see that I have my seam ripper out here. Remember that dangerous looking tool from yesterday's broadcast, okay? So when you are taking out a serger stitch, the thread that you are most concerned with, the thread you need to be paying attention to, is the needle thread. Now, of course, I have, you know, three different colors in my serger, so I know which one is my needle thread, but that's actually a really good idea. That's why we sell those thread blending packs that we sell on our site, so that if you don't use the exact same thread in all three places on your serger, or four, whatever, you can know what works. So what I do, if this is a fairly long seam, I'll go along somewhere and I'll find my needle thread and I will cut it with my seam ripper or my razor blade, whatever I'm doing, okay? So I'll cut the needle thread, but then I'm gonna find the needle thread at the end here, and once again, it's the orange one, so give me a second to find that, okay? And I'm going to pull on my orange needle thread. Oh look, and it's kind of gathering up, you see that? The gathering up of the fabric is okay, as long as it's not tightening up my seam, okay? So, look, as it comes away, as that needle thread, oh, that was a really, I don't know what it looked like on camera there, but as I pull my needle thread, woo, and it comes away, there we go, there we go. Oh, you see that? All the looper threads get released and can come out, and there is no tightening. So here's the deal, guys. You need to pull on your needle thread, not on your looper thread. Mary just said, which thread are you pulling? I got distracted. Needle, needle, needle. Pull your needle thread. Pull your needle thread, okay? And Jennifer says, I loathe unlocking serger seams. It's not the most fun, but it can be made easier if you do it correctly. So once again, and this is the technique I kind of shared yesterday for taking out seams, I like to kind of go along, and every few inches I will like pick my needle thread if it's a really long seam, and then I will find it and pull it out, and I'll pull that needle thread, and I'm using the other side of my seam ripper. I'm not cutting it right now. I'm actually using the back side to kind of pull on the needle thread. Okay, so you can cut it and kind of pull some slack, and you're gonna pull on that needle thread to get it out. I mean, you know, however you get it out is fine, right? Okay, but this is the best way to do it. Okay, I want to show you what happens though if you pull on the looper thread. So whichever looper you're gonna pull on, mine are pink and green. Here, I'm gonna pull on this pink looper thread here and see. Okay, check that out. You see how that seam is just tightening up? Pulling, tightening. Oh, it broke. Okay, well that's actually good if I pull hard enough. But if you pull on the looper thread, it just like sucks up all that fabric into your seam, and that's no good. Jennifer is asking about stretchy thread and like if big box stores have anything that works in a pinch. For stretchy thread, they might carry the Maxi Lock stretch stuff. We really like it. They might carry that. We really, though, prefer, for normal serger thread, really like the Aerolock. Like I can't say it enough that we like that Aerolock. So in the coming weeks here, we have a lot on our plate this month. We have a big in-store serger workshop actually at the end of the month. We have wanting to get the knit directions for the easy tea class up. Okay, we want to do all that, but a technical video on how the serger works is if you all are excited about that, then that would definitely give me some motivation to do it. Give me some feedback on that. We would love to educate people more about how sergers work. And even though we're huge advocates of the baby lock sergers, a lot of the knowledge would transfer to other sergers. So, and we've discussed why we think the baby locks are the best, etc. And Baby Lock doesn't sponsor us or anything. Actually, we paid Baby Lock for all these machines because we're a machine dealer. Anyway, so we really don't get. It's not like we're pushing these sergers for any other reason than we really do use them every day. And I have tried other brands of serger. Of course, Mom has tried, and sewn on other sergers. Mary says they should sponsor you. Well, if you would like to, you can contact Baby Lock through their website and tell them how much you love the self-sewn wardrobe and sewing out loud. We'll see what happens. So anyway, that is the anatomy of a serger stitch. One of the reasons I did this, I want to give a shout out to Eric. And Eric, I don't know if you're watching, but Eric is a big live video watcher, and if I do say so myself, an excellent cinematographer yourself, because Eric sent us back a little video of what he was doing in his sewing space, and I really enjoyed it. Eric got an older Kenmore serger and got it working, and sort of put a picture up of the stitch that he got. And I think, Eric, you maybe thought that your stitch was not balanced because the upper looper thread looked kind of like wavy, and the lower looper thread looked more pointy, and that's actually appropriate. So Eric, you've tamed the beast, okay? So you are going to you're going to learn a lot about sergers as you get into it. Sandy says, my dealer says the same thing. She sells other brands too, but when I said I was thinking of a serger, she said I'd be happiest with the Baby Lock and to save for that. I mean, dealers have the incentive to keep people happy, right? Like, no one wants an angry customer. I have even had, and this is pretty remarkable for this town, I have even had another dealer just send somebody here when they said, I'm looking for the serger that's easiest to thread. It's just the truth, right now. And they've got these patents, on all this technology, etc. And I can go on my Baby Lock rant again some other time, Amanda, Mallory and ZD, I'm guessing you could choose to carry any brand, and that you chose Baby Lock to me means that that's what we think is best, and that's right. So we really do. I mean, especially in serger land, the Baby Locks really have quite the special thing going on. So anyway, I've got Ginger Jeans people coming in today, and somebody is coming in to make a little cocoon kimono pattern that we are working on developing, and I need to go get started on getting all of that stuff together, and I need to drink some coffee, because even though Amanda said she'd take extra sips of tea for me, I need some hydration. And if you just think that we're excellent advocates for Baby Lock, you can let them know somehow. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you get something sewn today, and it's been fabulous talking to you again. Next week, I'm going to start sharing some previews of the Sew Here box, okay? So the next Sew Here box is going to be shipping in late February, perhaps early March, but late February is the goal. Orders are going to be open to the general public on January 10th, and we are going to start previewing some of the items that are in the box. Yeah, thank you, Jennifer. You got my slip up. I appreciate it. Oh, and hello to Mary's 5-year-old Alora. So great to see you all. That's a little preview of next week. And of course, the items that I'll be showing are in the Sew Here box, but they'll be available for purchase individually. Or you know, you're going to learn something about sewing, about these techniques that you can use with the items, and so they are informative as well as a preview into the Sew Here box and the bonus items that we are planning for you. Yesterday I was literally, I'm using the word literally properly here, I was just like crying laughing at the bonus items that we have for you in this box. I think we're being so funny, and Becca and Sam agreed. So I can't wait to start showing you what's going to be in the box. All right, so fabulous to speak with you all this morning. Hope you get something sewn today, and I've got to go get my store together for people to come in and sew. All right, thanks.